Hi guys, hope everyone is well. It's been a while since I've released a video. I've been a bit busy over the past 2 to 3 weeks with work and school. Luckily, I do have some free time now, and I actually want to introduce a very important topic called net present value, also known as NPV. This concept is a very important concept, and a lot of your medium to big businesses use this concept to decide whether to pursue an investment or not. So what are we talking about when we are talking about net present value or NPV? So when we are talking about NPV, we are basically taking a project and saying how can we assign value to this project over a certain period of time so that we include the time value of money or the time value in money. So when I say the time value in money, what I'm basically saying is what you are able to buy with $1,000 today, you will not be able to buy with the very same $1,000 in 5 years from now because of things such as inflation. And what I'll do, guys, is in the near future, I'm going to release a video on inflation, basically explaining inflation much deeper so that you guys can get a much better or a much deeper understanding of inflation. So maybe, guys, it's a great point to begin to read this scenario so that we can just dive in straight into the question. Maybe before I read the scenario, guys, let me explain why I always create stories behind questions. And the reason for that, guys, is so that you guys can basically understand the concept much better, especially when there's a story linked behind the question. It's much more easier to understand. It's much more easier to remember. Okay, let's begin reading the scenario. Sipo has a construction company called MIG Contractors. The company is in the business of building houses. The company has been in operation for 10 years. Of the 10 years, the company has been profitable 8 years of the previous 10. But in the last 2 years, the company has made tremendous losses. MIG Contractors has been awarded a tender from the local municipality to build 15 RDP houses in an informal area. The total cost of the project is 10 bars, 10 million rand over 5 years. Sipo is a bit hesitant on taking this project because of two reasons. One is over the past 2 years, MIG Contractors has made a loss and the company is cash strapped. Two, the enormous initial investment of 10 million rand could be utilized elsewhere, in brackets, put in a savings account with ABC Bank at an interest rate of 5%. The project is structured such that MIG will be compensated half a bar in year 1, 500,000, 4.5 bars in year 2, 4.5 million rand, 6 bars in year 3, 6 million rand, 2 bars in year 4, 2 million rand, and 1.5 bars in year 5, 1.5 million rand. Sipo must now decide whether to accept or reject this project. So guys, in this particular story, in this particular scenario, we've been provided with a bunch of information as it relates to years, as it relates to our figures, our cash inflows, as well as our cash outflows, as well as an interest rate, which is the cost of capital. In bracket here, it says put it in a savings account with ABC Bank at an interest rate of 5%. So basically, guys, maybe just to unpack the question a little bit more, we basically have two opportunities here, guys. We can either take this 10 million rand and invest it into the building of 15 RDP houses as per the awarded tender from the local municipality, or we can take this 10 million rand and put it in a savings account with ABC Bank at an interest rate of 5%. So we have to weigh our options and see which of these two investments is the better investment, whether to take this 10 million rand and put it in a savings account, or to build these 15 RDP houses. So I think this is a good opportunity now to just pull up the spreadsheets that we will be doing our calculations on. Here we go, guys. We have two columns here, guys. We have a year column as well as a cash flows column. So what we need to do at this point, guys, is to pull information from this scenario, from this story, and paste it on this spreadsheet. So in year zero, basically year zero represents our initial investment of 10 million rand. And this 10 million rand will be negative because this is a cash outflow. This money needs to be set aside for this project over 5 years. So that's why this 10 million is negative. This money is leaving MIG contractors. That's why it's negative. And then in year one, we will be compensated half a bar, which is 500,000 rands. So let's plug in our 500,000 rands. And then in year two, we will be compensated 4.5 million rand. In year three, we will be compensated 6 million rand. So basically what we are doing here, guys, we were just pulling information from the scenario into our spreadsheet so that we can be able to calculate our present value as well as our net present value, and then arrive at some sort of explanation as to whether to accept this project or to reject it. And then in year four, guys, we will be compensated 2 million rand. And then in year five, I think it's 1.5. Yes, it's 1.5 million rand. 1.5 million rand. And then our rates, guys, remember our rate, which is our interest rate, our cost of capital, it's 5%. 5%. And then what we basically need to do at this point, guys, is to discount these cash inflows from year one to year five. We need to discount them into the present value to find out how much are these cash flows today. How much are these cash flows from year one to year five today? We don't need to discount this 10 million rand because it's in year zero. It's basically in the present. So 10 million rand today is 10 million rand today. So guys, we are going to discount these cash flows from year one to year five with the aid of a formula. So open brackets NPV, no sorry guys, equal sign NPV open brackets. So our rate is of course 5%, comma, and then we are going to be discounting cash flows from year one all the way to year five. Year one to year five, close brackets, and then we hit enter, guys. So our present value of these discounted cash flows is 12.5 of these cash flows is 12.5 odd million rand. Right. So now we need to find the difference between this figure and this figure to find out our net present value equals. So it's 10 million rand, which is going out, by the way, guys, plus 12 odd million rand, which is coming into MIG contractors. Enter. So our net present value is 2.5 odd million rand. So what does this mean, guys? Because interpretation is very important. We've done our calculations, but now we need to somehow interpret what we've calculated. So what does this 2.5 odd million represent? What does it mean? So basically, guys, in general practice, the rule of thumb is if the net present value, which is this figure, is greater than 0, we accept that particular project. If the net present value is less than 0, we reject that particular project. Maybe just for ease of use, let me just type this rule in here so that you guys can see it. So if the NPV is greater than 0, except again, if the net present value is less than 0, reject. Okay, awesome stuff. Okay, let me explain this rule, guys. Exactly what this means. What is NPV greater than 0? What does that mean? Remember, guys, that our discount rate of 5%, this rate of 5%, what this basically represents is an opportunity cost, right? This represents an opportunity cost. If we didn't invest this 10 million rand into this project of building RDP houses as per the tender by the local municipality, if we didn't invest it into this project, we would have invested it with ABC Bank, right? Remember from the scenario, guys, we would have put it in a savings account with ABC Bank at an interest rate of 5%. So what this basically means, guys, is this. If we didn't take this 10 million rand and invest it in this project of building these 15 RDP houses, and rather just take it and put it in a savings account with ABC Bank, we would have earned a 5% interest rate on the 10 million rand. So this is basically an opportunity cost because we are foregoing investing this 5% with ABC Bank at an interest rate of 5%. We are saying, no, let's rather invest this 10 million rand into this project of building these RDP houses. Remember, guys, this 10 million rand that we want to invest into this project, it's not free, guys. It's not free. The opportunity cost is this 5%. So it could have been invested elsewhere to earn a return. So when we say that the NPV is greater than 0, what in essence we are saying is we have added value. We have added value above and beyond this 5% that we otherwise could have done by investing it into a savings account. Because our NPV is indeed greater than 0, it's 2.5 odd million rand. We have basically invested value over and above this 5%. Let's say, for example, guys, if we calculated our NPV here and our answer here was 0, what would that be basically meaning is if we had invested this 10 million rand with ABC Bank, if we had invested this 10 million rand with ABC Bank, we would have gotten whatever return we would have gotten. And then if we invest this 10 million rand into this project and we get an NPV of 0, that would basically mean that both these investments yield a return which is equal. So we would have either invested with ABC Bank or building these RDP houses. So what this means basically is that we've gotten a return over and above this 5% that we would have invested with ABC Bank. So we've actually brought value to MIG contractors. So ultimately, guys, what we are going to say in answering this question is, yes, SIPO must definitely accept this project, because what it does is it brings in a return which is over and above the return that we would have gotten if we had invested this 10 million rand with ABC Bank. This is a very good investment, and it is going to bring value into MIG contractors. I think we've answered the question, guys. If you guys possibly have any other question, you can, by the way, post your questions under this video. I will try and reply to every question. Again, guys, please do subscribe to the channel and also click on the notification so that you guys can be made aware of new videos. Again, guys, hope you guys found value from me making this video. Is there anything that I want to say? Am I forgetting anything? Oh, guys, what I'll do is I'll attach a link in the description below of both the storyboard, this scenario, as well as the calculations. Awesome stuff, guys. Thank you for watching this video. Bye.